Hello, bonjour, hola, and hallo, because today's the first segment of Breaking Pan American News. As you can see, I upgraded the set a bit. We got the OAS flag, the Organization of American States. We got the UN hat back. We got some new pins, but that's not what we're talking about today, okay? Today we're talking about the US strikes on Venezuela and the capture of the Venezuelan dictator. As I was writing the script for a Pan American News video on the possibility of a US invasion of Venezuela, which will still going out, and it'll just be about what led up to this. But just as I was done finishing it, the US invaded Venezuela. So, 2 in the morning. Anyways, let me tell you what happened. So at 2 in the morning in Venezuela, roughly around 2 in the morning Venezuela, explosions were heard in Caracas, the capital. And these explosions have been confirmed to be the US strikes. Now, the U.S. claims that these were on military institutions, which they were, but the Venezuelan government says that they are also targeted at civilian institutions, which has not been confirmed. But nonetheless, since these strikes were in urban areas, it most certainly led to civilian death, which is extremely unfortunate and pretty bad look for the U.S. Now, after these explosions, the military led patrols in the streets of Caracas with military vehicles, and the president of Venezuela, or dictator of Venezuela, issued a state of emergency of Venezuela. Now, after these strikes happened, U.S. helicopters flew close to the ground on the Venezuelan skyline. Now, here's what those helicopters did, supposedly. Those helicopters were carrying Special Operations soldiers, or Delta Force, what has been circulated around as the possible culprit for this. These troops captured Maduro and his wife, took him to a battleship off the coast of Venezuela owned by the U.S., Iwo Jima. Trump said that he's on a flight to New York City to be prosecuted, and we'll talk about that more later. Here's some statements from other individuals in the Venezuelan government. The VP has confirmed that she does not know where the president's current whereabouts is and asked for a confirmation of life, which has kind of been given. And the Venezuelan defense minister has also said that any U.S. troop presence in Venezuela will be fought against and resisted. Well, of course. The U.S. has said that there has been no U.S. troop deaths, and that a second attack was planned, but this attack was so successful that it was not needed. Now, I got up at 8 in the morning to watch a U.S. press conference on all this, since I wanted to know what happened. And here's what Trump said. He said that the U.S. will directly run Venezuela until a peaceful transfer of power can occur. He has also remarked that he wants to have U.S. oil companies drill Venezuela, since they have some of the largest oil deposits in the world not being mined. And they have said that Maduro has been captured and has been indicted in New York and will be prosecuted in U.S. courts for narco-terrorism and dictatorship. So, oh yeah, he also mentioned the Monroe Doctrine and saying how this is part of the reason why he did this is a ploy to secure U.S. hegemony over the Western Hemisphere, which is interesting. But even then, there's one major question. Who will take over after Maduro has been captured? Now, I think that before any U.S.-led, U.S.-friendly government is installed, that there are 2 possible Maduro successors. Someone from the military or his vice president. Now, thankfully, since there was not an invasion, there has not been a total collapse of Venezuelan institutions. so it's not like cartels can just run unobstructed. But then another question comes: who will be the U.S. Led government? Because there definitely will be one. Because as it's been shown, Donald Trump really wants a U.S. government in Venezuela, and he has even said that he wants the U.S. to directly govern it until a U.S.-friendly government can come in. Now, there are no current major opposition leaders in Venezuela since they have all been kicked out. And they have made no statements about what's happened. But if anyone's going to lead a U.S. government in Venezuela, or a U.S.-friendly government in Venezuela, it's going to be them, since Trump has showed favor to them in the past. And even though there has not been a full Iraq-style invasion, there's still possibility for chaos, since unlike in Iraq, there's already heavily militaristic, heavily organized criminal organizations ready to pounce at any moment. So any sign that the central government can't control the entire country, cartels will take territory and they will start a guerrilla war, which is extremely bad. And this will make it increasingly harder for any sort of power transfer in Venezuela. So I just want to give my personal opinion on this matter, and it is that I encourage cautious optimism. Now, I do think the operation was carried out pretty stupidly. There was no coordination with Venezuelan opposition. There's no plans. There's nothing. There's just the idea of that we're going to control it, which is not a very good plan and probably won't work. But from the looks of it, Venezuelan opposition has... Now, the way I would have wanted this to go is more cooperation with Pan-American allies. And of course, there's also the angle that this is an extreme violation of the powers of the American president. All the other American presidents, when they have gone to war, even though they didn't declare war, they always asked for permission from the Congress before doing such an operation. Trump has not done that. It could have been backrooms, it could have been anything, so the Venezuelans didn't find out. But this is not the way. This is not the way to carry out these type of operations, just solely by presidential decree. That's not good, and that's an overstep of his powers. But overall, I think, hopefully, that this goes well. I pray to Simon Bolivar that the current U.S. government knows what they're doing, although that cannot be certain. Alright, thank you for watching. Hope you liked the setup, and I will be posting a new video about Venezuela in the following week or two. I hope to get this up by today or at least tomorrow. And I will be having updates in my next video about what has happened since now and then. But thank you for watching, and goodbye.